Coach Applin, there were reports yesterday he was going to go to Arkansas State, and last night his Twitter bio changed to running backs coach at Arkansas State. So is he still with the Western Kentucky football program?
No, he's not, man. I really thank him for this year. He was unbelievable help to me. He's a great friend to begin with, but an unbelievable football coach and done a really, really nice job for us. And, that we're going to miss him, but, excited for him to get that opportunity.
And for you personally, what's this past week kind of been like where you guys did bring in Zach Kitley as the next offensive coordinator, and how do you see your role changing at Western Kentucky?
Well, the role part, I'll let Coach Helton answer those questions. Those are questions for the head coach. But, I've been at WKU now for 5 years, and I've loved every second of it. And, for me personally, I'm just excited that I still get to be around and still get, we got a great group of kids. I obviously have a huge affection for our head coach. And, I look forward to getting this thing back to where it once was. And quite frankly, the reason we got to come back here. And, this is like I said at the beginning, it's a bottom line profession, man. You either get it done or you don't. And, we didn't get it done on offense this year, and that's part of it. So,
you still get offensive coordinator duties for the bowl game. Coach Helton said, this is an offense that is coming off its best probably 6 quarters of the season. What can you take away from those heading into this game and trying to continue to put up those strong offensive numbers?
Well, it goes back to the resiliency of the kids we have, man. It's been a struggle for everybody. They're frustrated. We're frustrated. I'm sure our fans are frustrated. We're all frustrated. And it shows the resiliency of the players that we have out there that, to finish the way that they have. And, those 2 wins that they earned the last 2 weeks, they, that earned them the right to go play in a bowl game. And that's kind of the gift for them to keep fighting through. You talk about football is really one of the last things in life that truly teaches you about the way life really is. And we had some adverse situations come our way, and our kids kept fighting. And, that's, as a coach, that's all you can ask. And, to finish the way they did, I couldn't be more proud of them, couldn't be more proud of our coaches. I wish we would have got it going a little better, a little quicker. But, like I said, that's part of it. And, but it's a testament to the type of players that we have, man, that just a bunch of good kids that really, really enjoy playing a game of football and doing things the right way.
I know you guys throughout that final 3-game stretch were hopeful to get a bowl game if you guys had played well, if you guys won those games and you did that. And then Sunday night, you guys learned that you get the bowl invitation, accept it, and that you're going to get that next chance to play another game. What was Sunday night like for you as a coach and for this team?
It was good. It was good. We were excited. We kind of had the idea that we were going to get a bowl game. It was all over the place. How the media is. You never know. You look, every site predicted somewhere different, predicted a different opponent. So, I was kind of peeking at some different guys, watching some few teams. We had heard maybe Memphis. You'd heard maybe Appalachian State. So, I was peeking, trying to get a initial, I'd be honest, I never heard Georgia State until it was actually announced. So that wasn't one that I got to take it a quick peek at before we ever figured it out. And well, excited for the kids. I think our older guys that, I wasn't here, but I think our older guys that played them a couple years ago in a bowl game, I think they were excited to get a redo, get a rematch to see if we could change that outcome. And then, we got some guys some young guys that hadn't got to experience a bowl game. And, with Piggy, I know, we just broke it down while I was talking to him after practice. And, he was talking about trying to get a ring. He's been in college for 5 years and hadn't gotten to win a bowl game, hadn't gotten to get a ring and all those things. So there's a lot to play for. There's a lot for these guys to be excited about. And, it's been really fun watching a couple of the young skill guys, Malachi and Dakota, and those guys go make plays the last couple of weeks that, hey, let's see what they can go do.
You mentioned Piggy and getting that opportunity. I know when he came here, there was a lot of expectations put on him. And it didn't always go the way that a lot of people would have hoped. But coming off this last game against Charlotte, how good was it to see him play the way he did in that game, and just to close out the regular season the way that he did, and now moving into this bowl game?
Man, I can't say enough uh, positive things about Tyrell Pegram of what he's done this year. The kind of roller coaster year that he's had, it makes you a little emotional as a coach because there's not a lot of men nowadays that can handle adversity the right way, especially at the college age. It's hard on them sometimes when especially with the social media age and all this stuff. It's hard to when it doesn't go your way. And I can remember when we told him, hey, you're not going to be the quarterback right now. We're going to go with another guy. The way he responded to that, and the way and he wasn't happy. He wasn't, but he just acted like a man. He acted, and it wasn't bitching and moaning and whining. He what do I got to do to get my job back, coach? And at that time, I didn't have a lot of good answers for him, other than we're going to watch it. We want to see another guy, how we can do with another guy playing. And kid just kept working his tail off, kept being the great human being that he is, and it paid off for him. He fought through it. There's a lot of men that, especially nowadays, that the day he got told he wasn't going to be the starter anymore, would have walked out, would have left, and never even crossed his mind. Didn't bat an eye, didn't blink. Coach, I'm going to get another opportunity, and when I do, I'm going to play so good, y'all can't take me out again. And quite frankly, that's what he did. And as an adult, as his coach, that makes you damn proud. Makes you proud to watch him, and it's just been an honor to go out there and watch him the last couple of weeks get to go have success.
And to kind of go off that, I know Coach Helton said KT isn't with you guys anymore. He's doing what he has to do to find his opportunity. And with Shanley gone too, I guess, is there a plan in place for a backup for the bowl game if needed?
Yeah, we got two really, really good freshmen, man, that I'm really excited about. Darius Ocean and Grady Robinson, I think, are both really do well. If something happens to Piggy, Darius will go out there first. But it wouldn't be long before Grady might would get an opportunity as well. They're very different in their skill set. Darius is a really, really good thrower, does a lot of good things, really smart. Grady's a really, really good athlete. Probably one of the toughest people we got on the whole team. Which is a lot of fun to have in that quarterback room. Probably one of the more favorite guys of anybody on our team. He does a lot of the scout team work for the defense. They love him. So I look forward, God, I hope nothing happens to Piggy. I hope we get to go out there and play with him the whole game. But, it's college football, next man up if it does, and we'll run out one of those freshmen when that time happens.
And with Georgia State, what do you see about those guys on film? What do you think it's going to take to have another good offensive day against that Georgia State team?
Man, you can tell. It's always funny. You see teams' mentalities. You see teams you watch them on film, and you can tell who their coach is. You can tell this football team's coach, their head coach, is an O-line coach. They're probably some of the toughest guys that you watch them on film, man. They play hard. They play hard. You can tell they got O-line coach type practices. I'm sure they practice tough, and they do a really good job. They got really good guys up front. They stack the box. They play like you would expect an O-line coach team to play. They're not gonna let you run the football, and they're gonna make them beat you throwing it. And that's what the teams that have beat them have thrown the football with success, and the teams that haven't. They're kind of like us. Their schedule probably isn't what they want, but you look at who they've been beat by. They got beat by Coastal. I think Coastal's top 10 in the country. They got beat by Appalachian State. Obviously, they're always good. They got beat by Lafayette. Always good. It's kind of like art. It's kind of like ours. You look, we beat the teams we're supposed to beat, and quite frankly, we got beat by some teams that maybe one or two in there that we probably could have had back. But we got beat by some good football teams. So theirs is similar to us. There's not a game on their schedule that you look at and go, man, I don't know how they lost that one. They probably wish they didn't lose the Coastal game 51-0, but they got beat by a good football team who's we Coastal and us have a common opponent in BYU, and you look what they did to BYU, and look what happened to us. So that they're good. So we will have our, we will be battle tested, and we'll have, it'll be a challenge for sure.
And today was early signing day. The only announcement I saw was one player on the defensive side signing with Western Kentucky. I know you guys picked up the Cofield kid, the grad transfer from North Dakota State. But I guess what's this whole process been like trying to recruit in a pandemic where you guys, it's a weird year with the extra year of eligibility and a lot of transfers out there. And I guess how much of a concern is it, or that you guys hadn't signed anyone that's announced at this point?
Yeah, well, there'll be some more announced here soon. That you try to, with these guys, they like to have it for them too. You got a pandemic going on. They want to have a ceremony. It's a big day for those guys. So you as a coaching staff, you never announce a kid that's signed with you until they want you to. So there's some more that's already signed here that I think our fans will really like. Some more that's kind of on the fence of where we're going to go. We knew today was going to be like today. It's a weird year, like you said, with all the things going on in a pandemic with eligibility. I think just bear in there with us. I think we're going to be fine. Nobody needs to panic yet. We got some couple guys that will get announced that will, make a lot of people happy. And then as we get going here, it'll all work itself out. We got a chance to be a really, really good football team going into next year, and we got to add a couple pieces to get us back to where we want to go, and we're headed in that direction.
How do you stay focused and keep the guys focused on the goal ahead, which is the bowl game?
It's definitely the focus stays on the bowl game. Obviously, those things it's that time of year for those things to linger around. Do have a new offensive coordinator in the building, but right now, that's kind of what we're kind of born to do as football coaches and football men, is to stay, be where your feet are, stay focused on the task at hand, and our guys understand the same thing.
And just to be clear, is the staff that you're going to have for the bowl game as of right now the staff that you had for the regular season from a defensive standpoint?
Absolutely, yes. That should be the exact same.
And from a player standpoint, I know some guys have entered the transfer portal since the last time we spoke. Probably one of the most notable on the defensive side was Roger Cray. Do those guys on the defensive side still plan on playing, as far as you know?
Yes. Right now, those guys want to finish out together. Those guys want to do a good job of, they've been here the longest, and guys want to test the free agent market. And obviously those guys out here working and meeting. I haven't. Everybody's been here, so it's awesome still having them around. So
now that we got that fun stuff out of the way, Sunday night when you guys found out you were getting this bowl game, when you found out you were going to play Georgia State, what was that like for you as a coach, and like seeing all the guys? And because I know this was something that you guys were looking forward to and hoping for.
It's definitely rewarding. It's definitely a good feeling, especially after it's been a long season. In regards to just mentally every week, who's going to be there, who's not going to be there with COVID. But I know we're definitely fortunate to be playing another football game. A lot of teams are at home. We have young guys on this team that need to develop, and that's the best part out of it as a program. Some of your young players get to develop, a little bit more than, obviously with us missing a spring. But as far as us playing the game and all that good old stuff, we're excited to go down and play Georgia State again.
From a team standpoint, practice standpoint, since you learned about that game, I believe 2 practices now, yesterday and today, what's the mood kind of been like at practice now that you guys know that you have this opportunity?
Guys got a little juice about them. They had a couple of days to get off to get their legs back. We finished the Charlotte game, so that's momentum that comes into this week. They had some time to be alone, some time to refresh. And so we give them 3 practices this week. We go 3 next week. We go play. So I think that's huge. Coach Helton does a great job of not burning us out as coaches and as players, so we can always stay fresh when it's time to perform. And I think that's the most important thing. But those guys were hyped. They're ready to play. They're excited, and they understand, what's at stake.
With Georgia State, a team that you guys saw a few years ago as a program, 2017 in the Cure Bowl, I believe. What do you know about those guys this year, and can you take anything away from that game that Western played against them a few years back?
And the main thing I can take from that game, really, they have a different coordinator, one offensive coordinator. They have athletes running around the field. They kind of remind us of us, team that just got athletes and some big guys that can do it. They have a good young quarterback. They have an outstanding receiver, number 15. I think he's really good. They had some receivers the last time, so they do a good job of bringing in the skill players. I think the thing we got to be great at is that the energy when we play. I think Georgia State did a good job of that last time. I mean, they kind of wanted a little bit more than the tops that day, it seemed like. But I think that's going to be the most important thing is to bring the juice and the focus at the same time.
You guys, especially at the end of the year as a defense, were just rolling. FAU, Southern Miss, those games just playing extremely well and putting the team in positions to win. Now with 20 days in between games, there's a long layoff there. Does that concern you at all?
It doesn't. It does not really, because the way we practice, we kind of get right back into it, and like there was no introduction to do you guys remember this part of the playbook? We put it right back on the board, and we haven't missed a beat. So I think that's important for us to make sure that we are still clicking the way we were in the month of November. We played some really good football in November. We want to just continue it over to December.
Where definitely this is going to be the last game of the season. You've got an experienced group out there. Does anything with the defense change leading up to this game? Are you trying to throw in any new wrinkles, or is it just go out there and do what you guys do?
I mean, most teams, I say during the bowl practices, I mean, there's some things that you wanted to do the last game that you did not get done, and you may want to call it, But for the most part, teams going to do what they do because these games kind of happen kind of quick. You found out last week you really can't put in a lot more new things in just 6 practices. But there could be some wrinkles here and there. But for the most part, our guys should know exactly what they're doing and be ready to play.
I'm not sure if we're going to talk to you again before the game. I imagine so. But, what are you hoping to get done this week and then next week, where it is kind of like it's almost like a bye week type of deal where you guys have 2 weeks to prepare?
Mm-hmm. So the main thing for us is to make sure that we're practicing the plays that we need to see. It's different. Normally, it's a 12-game season. You get the breakdown. Now it's only a 9-game season for Georgia State. So you would go back through and make sure that we see some plays that they might have snuck in against Monroe the first game of the season, and we'll do a good job of just making sure there's nothing out there that we haven't seen. Personnel guys may come back. That's going to be the thing for COVID guys or whatever, but. That's the main thing to make sure you're not surprised by anything that pops up in the game on Saturday.
Today started signing day, early signing day. I asked Coach Helton about it. He said it was probably not expecting like a ton of people to sign, but more steady throughout the year, looking at transfers and those types of things where it is kind of a weird year. The one that I saw that you guys signed was a cornerback out of Independence Community College. What do you know about that guy that had signed with the team?
Before I answer, I can talk about those guys today, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Miguel, yeah. So he signed. He's a guy that we've been on. I love his track record from his high school, Deerfield Beach. A great relationship with his head coach. He's a competitive player. Got some good skill sets, some decent size. Kind of remind us of the guys that we have. And he has 3 years left, so that was more exciting for me as a position coach to get another body in here, knowing that knowing going into the season that you was going to lose without the pandemic, you was going to lose quite a few DBs. So we've been on some guys, and he was the one that I definitely kept my eye on. I like him a lot.
And I know you can't talk about guys that you haven't signed yet, but with this whole process, I guess, how much of a concern is it having just one player announced that is signed right now? And I guess, what's this whole process kind of been like trying to recruit people in a pandemic?
We're real big on seeing guys as much as possible. And obviously we was a little, not saying we was nervous, but we didn't want to just jump on some guys that we didn't know about. We had to do a lot of research, and sometimes that, with us just playing, we played more games than anybody. So we didn't have as much time to recruit, to be honest with you, but not saying we were not recruiting, but you don't want to just sign guys to say we sign guys today. When knowing with us at WKU, we don't start classes till January 20th-ish. So we feel comfortable. We're not worried about, we didn't get a chance to put out any edits today, but we did a couple, but we feel good about it. We're still recruiting, and, we have a little bit more time now, but it's really hard trying to recruit someone to your program to play football that you haven't seen. That's not easy.